Hello, everyone. This is your host, Cy Smith. Today is the 4th of July, 2016. I want to first have a moment of solace and silence for our military troops who raised their right hand and swore to die so that we have freedom here, relative freedom here. And so there are people right now deep underneath the ocean working right now away from their family and friends while we get to celebrate, critique, and do other things. They're away from their loved ones, keeping us safe. And I say that because I understand where some people in the community feel like we don't have freedom, but ultimately we do. That's the bottom line. So I'm always be a patriot to that. And I also know we have to do better. The purpose of this video is to make a major announcement. And before I make that announcement, I just want to walk you through some history. As many people know, my name is Cyron Smith. Everyone calls me Cy for short. I am a 41-year-old father of 4, 3 grown children, and a 5-year-old. I've been working on stopping the violence for a long time. November 20th, 1994 is the birth date of this concept that I took from the U.S. Navy and my travels around the world. I want to talk about defining moments, milestones and defining moments, because that's where I'm going with this. And this whole video is about us and our $5,000 campaign, $5,000 campaign. So defining moments. First and foremost, I want to talk about when I started this in 1994. I was out on the West Coast in California. I had, at that time, Yummy Sanford was killed in Chicago here. I was overseas, couldn't do much about it, but it devastated me even more so, which is one of the reasons I joined the military in the first place. So I started this work and I tested it. It was a milestone. It was a defining moment for me to see what I put together on November 20th, 94 could work. So I would drive from San Diego all the way to Los Angeles, South Central Los Angeles. I want to say it was a 2 or 3 hour drive up there almost every weekend. And I would go into the Jordan Down Homes, which is a 700 sprawling unit housing projects. And I started this work that you see videos of me doing in Chicago and Gary now. I started it there. I ran the test there. I had a chance to be in Compton, in Long Beach, working with the West Coast brothers about how the Navy allowed me to change my life. So at any rate, I got the testing done. When I was released out the military active duty, I came home and started this work block by block. I was naive, thought the politicians would love it. Let's just say I got a rude awakening. So going back to the defining moments, this is the walk how I got to where I'm at now. So when I started this work, I funded it myself. But in 2001, June 1st, I announced that I was quitting my job. I was financially stable. I had apartment buildings, real estate was coming in, had other money coming in, so I walked away in 2001, June. 3 months into it, we opened up a store on 59th and 55th and Hoying. I would say after 9/11 happened, September 11, I watched primarily black people, wealth go out the window. People lost their jobs. All my tenants lost their jobs, and it was a downward spiral. 3 years after that, I ended up going back to work, and I stayed there in 2004 until I announced I was running for mayor of Chicago in 2006. Ran for mayor, got knocked off the ballot by a black person, not Mayor Daley, a black person, and that really disappointed me as well. But because I had a citywide infrastructure, I wanted to test that infrastructure and see if the city would come together and support someone who's on the ground doing the work. Because I was knocked off the ballot, we didn't get a real test, but running the petitions allowed me to see where we were in terms of if the motivation was there. So at any rate, that failed in 2006. So what I ended up doing from 2006 until 2011 was I was steady going door to door building relationships, but I ran for 15 ward alderman in Inglewood neighborhood. Now here's the thinking. The thinking was I ran citywide as mayor, allowed my west side, south side, east side to work together, and some of my family members and friends were saying we need to concentrate in one area and get a victory so people will believe in you. I said that's fine, so I concentrated on the south side 15 ward. 63rd Street is a prime thoroughfare. So we drew out all of the blocks in the 15th Ward, and we went really, really aggressive. I love what I saw in terms of people being motivated, inspired. We had money coming from corporate America to help. We lost that race as well, and I thought we ran the most quality campaign because of our door-to-door efforts, but we still lost. But what I took from that when we lost that race was we can't give up. Giving up isn't an option. The travel out of town was key, and we kept that going as well. So at any rate, what I did was I said, let's just stay with these 49 blocks on 63rd Street, which is part of 15th Ward. And we started these Pennies to Africa Walk. We started that in 2011, and it still goes on today, every second Saturday in June. What that allowed me to do was to stay focused extremely on 63rd to 66th Street, 49 blocks east and west. We went door to door. We built relationships so strong within that corridor. And that was the next test that I wanted to run. Can I get people to walk to their corner and donate a penny for Africa? This would be another test, similar to the test for mayor that tested the whole city, if they believe in what I was talking about, similar to the test to the 15th Ward, to see if they believed in what I was talking about. Now this was a test to see if people would walk to their corner. And my findings was very disturbing. During the same time in 2011, we was doing this 49 block walk. Karen Freeman had been running for mayor in Gary, Indiana. I've always said Gary was critical for black people because Gary and Detroit were the only two cities where African Americans were the dominant group and had a chance to be proud of a city in America. So I was hopeful. I had a chance to be at my uncle's event and talk to Karen Freeman about what I was doing and this vision of 20 cities coming together, travel and all of that. Well, after I lost my race in the 15th Ward, I started spending more time in Gary with my uncle and trying to meet with Karen Freeman since she had won and get her to really see the value in making Gary the model since Chicago had rejected it. After at least 3 failed attempts to meet with her and to get her to see the vision and what I was talking about, I started feeling the same way I felt when I first got out the military, and the politicians pretty much told me get on board with what they're doing or they're not going to support me independently. So that's when it started resonating in my spirit that I may have to run for office in Gary since she won't be receptive. And I saw her alliance to Mayor Daley, who I knew was the devil when it came to black people and what we were going through in Chicago. This is the 7-minute mark, so I'm going to cut this video here and I'm going to come back and talk about when I made the decision to come to Gary. Thank you.